Hi!
Greetings, friends, ponies, and country mares. Today we have another wonderful day for analysis. That's the excited spirit I like to hear, because Analysis Daily Round 5 is open for voting!
Yes, sir, nothing like 4 to 5 channels going on at the same time.
Yeah, I know, right? That's totally why you're doing all the editing.
Sorry guys, your Uncle FNGR has been a massive dumbass lately, and among other things.
Tell me about it. I take 2 weeks off and come back to scorched sidewalks and pitchforks stuck in the siding. This is why I don't take vacations. Let's say we break down the rules. You get 3 votes on Analysis Daily as follows. 3 points to Analyst A, 2 points to Analyst B, and 1 point to Analyst C. You cannot award a channel more than once, nor can you have more than 1 vote comment. So think carefully, because edited comments will not be accepted. You also have a week to complete voting from the release of this video. So to avoid any confusion, vote early.
Additionally, the entries can't have videos that are older than 3 months from August 3rd. That's the start of this series of Analysis Daily.
And remember, the channel that hosts the video counts for the content. Links to the previous Analysis Daily entries will be in the description, in addition to the eligible 10 for today. Speaking of which, let's get started. British Ninja, Stranger Than Fanfiction.
The idea, of course, is to poke fun at both the writers and the overly analytical fans who appreciate art on a higher level than most casual watchers who just tend to turn their brain off and enjoy mindless fun. And in my opinion, what makes this episode great is that it doesn't feel like a one-sided fight. The audience and Dash, knowing Daring Do is real, leads us to disagree with what Quibble is saying. Yet, at the same time, this episode is written in a way that supports Quibble's argument completely, to the point where Quibble can solve everything simply because what's going on around him is incredibly stereotypical and cliché.
MrLeftTurn, Stranger Than Fanfiction.
Loved the atmosphere surrounding the Daring Do convention when Rainbow Dash stepped in. I'd never been to an official convention of anything, but I loved the attention to detail surrounding the convention itself, especially with all of the ponies that dressed up as different characters from the books, and all of the cool souvenirs and activities set up for the fans. The writers and animators really captured how exciting it can be to go somewhere surrounded by one of your absolute favorite things and hundreds of others who share your passion, even finding someone who's as dedicated as you are. Rainbow Dash acting all giddy at the different souvenirs, booths, and interactive Daring Do exhibits was enjoyable to watch, but it was even better to see Rainbow bonding with Quibble over their love for the book series.
Hallelujah, Brony. Fluttershy.
One reason people have strong negative feelings toward this character is not only because he's lazy, but he's also manipulative, though I do admit he plays the martyr quite convincingly.
I really just came back here to keep you guys company, but whatever's best for the family.
Looks like Zephyr has his priorities straight. 2 garden gnomes? Aw, look, it's Angel's uncle.
This gnome bunny changes color later on in the episode. How? The world may never know.
Funny how the solution to one headache is the cause of another.
DM Pon 3000, 28 pranks later.
More particular, the scene where Pinkie stops Rainbow from pranking Fluttershy. This episode comes in and starts with Rainbow doing just so. To be fair, I don't really like the scene either, but remember that Dash was the one who instigated wanting to prank Fluttershy in the first place, and Pinkie was the one who stopped her. Pinkie is not with Rainbow throughout her pranking sprees, so Rainbow's pranks feel more uncontrolled. That's how I feel the episode is setting up. Rainbow lacks control throughout the episode, like Pinkie was the one who kept her in check.
Viva Reverie, The Times They Are a Changeling.
Thing that bugs me number 1, the Changeling's voice. Remember Chrysalis's voice? It was cool. There was a weird echoey effects filter put over it. Or at least until they removed it in the season 5 finale, but I mean... While Kevin sounds like this. I'm sorry, his name isn't Kevin. It's Thorax, sure, tomato tomato. But what's with the voice? If you want to drive the theme of prejudice home easier, and more realistically, don't obviously make him an outcast by changing his voice into a derp, I'm Kevin voice. Thorax, sorry.
ForNoGoodReason in a Boston accent. The Times They Are a Changeling.
What if that mass perception isn't necessarily wrong? That would be pretty bold for an adult film, let alone a kid's cartoon. By and large, the changeling race is a menace, and Shining Armor and Cadence have every right in the world to be scared of changelings. Whereas the panic from Zecora was the fear of the unknown given way to, well, nonsense. Thanks, Pinkie. No one makes a single thing up about the changelings. I'd almost call it a flaw. When there's a witch hunt for something, even when it's justified, especially in the Brony fandom, people are willing to go that extra mile. The way Thorax is treated isn't just understandable. I'm not sure I could look you dead in the eye and tell you giving him a chance was the right thing to do.
LowPonView. Sunset Shimmer versus Starlight Glimmer.
Her heartwarming tail counterpart had a better backstory. Yeah, this is a pretty weak backstory for our character's motivation. So, did I just ignore it in my praise for the character? Actually, no. I'll tell you why this backstory works with one simple question. In all seasons of the show, how many villains did we get to see their side of their backstory? Not antagonists, villains. The answer? 1. No other villains in the show have given reasons as to why they live this villainous life. Now, I keep emphasizing show because most of you are probably yelling at me that we know Sunset's backstory from the comics.
Golden Star. Dungeons and Discords.
As for other characters, Spike is excellently written once again, and this time in a different light. While previous appearances this season have done a terrific job characterizing him as a faithful friend and supportive voice of reason, this episode allows him to be more of a kid who enjoys passionately delving into a highly involved RPG. This concept effectively adds something more to Big Mac's character as well, even if it unfortunately still doesn't give him much dialogue.
DWK. Why Discord isn't
There's Glimmy. She and Sunset are pretty similar, not in their goals or even their methods, but in their end results. They both fucked up really bad, hurt a lot of people, and ended up feeling awful about it. They're both actively working to atone for past actions, and the only real difference between these two is that Glims hasn't had her time yet. Whereas Sunset's had these big moments where her efforts towards good have blown anything bad she ever did completely out of the water. Glimmy hasn't quite hit her stride like that.
Keychi FIM. No second prances.
Complete and utter bullshit. Who talks about themselves like this in a serious way? Especially since it is simply not true. Tyrek was evil, Somber was pure evil, even Luna with her Eternal Night was evil.
Starlight, however, was just a spoiled brat who didn't know how to write a letter to keep in contact with her friend. And another thing, no one in Ponyville other than the main 6 and the princesses even know who Starlight is, unless she goes around telling everyone she meets that she's evil, which might actually be the case. Why is she so scared?
Now that you mention it, she did the same thing with Sunburst in the Crystal Empire. The only one calling her evil all the time is she herself.